channel, Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Scream 7 in this video here today. So if you're listening to this video, you're probably wondering how I have a response to the news this fast when it just broke. Well, if you're listening, just know that this is a recording from many months ago, and the fact that it's uploaded means that the news has now been confirmed. And that news, of course, is that Jasmin Brown will be returning to Scream 7 as Mindy Meeks Martin. It also means any videos uploaded before this one included me either likely pretending I hadn't heard diddly squat about Jasmin's comeback or just completely not mentioning it all whatsoever. Considering Scream 7 has this rumored time jump, it's possible Mindy has gone on to launch, I would say, a hit podcast where she discusses true crime, Ghostface stab, etc. If this sounds familiar, that's because Mindy allegedly had a podcast during the OG Scream 7. We're still waiting to learn who is in the film, who is Sidney's daughter, will Patrick Dempsey sign, etc. While we wait for that, let's work Mindy into a narrative that has nothing to do with her babysitter, Sam Carpenter. Now she's in the story of a woman who her uncle had a crush on. Maybe during Scream 6, just theorizing, Sam's little online hate train that Quinn started spilled into the life of Martha Meeks. Folks in Woodsboro started realizing Sam was friends with Mindy and Chad, connected the dots that Martha is their mom, assumed that they must be helping Sam with her frame job, and some nut jobs harassed Martha out of town. Martha relocated to where Sidney lives to be around a familiar face, and the twins obviously come home during extended college breaks, and this is how Sidney and the twins have gotten semi-close over the last 5 or 6 years, however long it's been since Scream 6. Maybe Chad ended up staying in New York full-time for a job opportunity, but Mindy moved back home with Martha after college before establishing her own residency nearby while continuing to grow her hit podcast. In her downtime, she could also babysit for Sidney. And this is where our opening kills come in. Yes, I get it. Put your damn pitchforks down. But you have to be able to set the tone with somebody. And I think using Mindy could open up the door for something spectacular if executed correctly. We haven't lost a returning star in the opening since Scream 3, if I'm remembering correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mindy could be stalked throughout the opening while she's wandering around Sidney's house, babysitting her youngest daughter. You can eliminate the phone call. We don't need it. In fact, how about this? Mindy could get a phone call after some more than excellent teasing goes on initially, only for the caller to be Sidney's voice to check in. So then the audience gets a sigh of relief, like, oh, it's not Ghostface. But there's been these teases all throughout the household that Ghostface is inside. It's not safe, but they just haven't struck yet. And we're just on the edge of our seats, hoping that Mindy catches on and she'll make it out of this alive. Now, the caller again will end up being Sidney. It'll be her voice to check in. When they hang up, Mindy and Sidney, on the outside of the house, we'll see a black glove hanging up at the same time as Mindy, confirming that Ghostface is using a high-tech voice changer again, and that wasn't Sidney. Eventually, Mindy is going to be attacked, killed, and Sidney will come home to discover her dead body with the walls covered in blood reading, "Welcome home, Sid." Not only that, when she goes upstairs, Sidney's youngest daughter has now been kidnapped. Then you jump a year later. She still hasn't found out who killed Mindy or where her daughter is. This already is setting up a sort of Maureen Prescott type of narrative in which a year later, something is still hanging over Sidney's head. She still has a mystery that she desperately will want to solve, including discovering where her daughter is. She's convinced that it had something to do with Ghostface, whereas others around her, including Mark, are not convinced it was Ghostface because of the fact that Ghostface usually doesn't taunt somebody for over a year. But Sidney, of course, being so familiar with this, is fully confident that this has something to do with another Ghostface waiting in the wings and just, for whatever reason, prolonging this new game that they are putting her through, in which they want to torment her in the worst way possible by jeopardizing the life of one of her baby girls. Now, when it comes to the rest of the narrative and how this could end up being beneficial to a character like Mindy dying in the opening, obviously you could bring in someone like Chad. I don't see Tara or Sam getting involved. Martha obviously would be in the mix. And yeah, you just go from there. I don't really see it as a big deal to have Mindy as the opening kill if it's executed correctly. I get that now that the news has been confirmed that she's back, people are going to be like, oh, she's a sellout, she's spineless, this, that, and the third. I'm pretty certain by the time this is uploaded, things have just gotten worse over the months. Hollywood is still in contraction. The opportunities are still drying up. People are still not getting what they wanted because AI is still thriving, even though that's what they were on strike for. One of the many major things they were on strike for that's still thriving. And yeah, all of the opportunities in LA are just drying up. So I don't think it has anything to do with her being spineless. I think it has mostly to do with her being an actress who wants to stay and work. I don't think this is her necessarily going against her morals completely. It's just easy to say that when we're on the outside looking in. We're on the outside looking in. We always want these people to do things that we want them to do, that we think is right and just, but we don't know their full situation. We're always assuming we have the big picture of what they're dealing with because we can go online and get a few general ideas, but we don't know the nitty-gritty. I don't know what her financial situation is like. I don't know what she might be dealing with on top of said financial situation. I don't know if there's anything going on outside of Yellow Jackets for her. You know, you have to be mindful that these stars, they want to keep a big spotlight on themselves. That's the best thing you can do if you're someone who's wanting to always have opportunities coming your way left and right. Staying active in the Scream franchise, while the optics aren't as perfect as we would like them to be, considering the unfortunate dismissal of Melissa Barrera, people are still going to sign on to this project. That's just the reality that people are going to have to come to terms with. And if you can't come to terms with that, your health is just going to decline. Because every little thing that comes out about Scream 7 is going to get your blood pressure racing or get your blood pressure raised. You're probably going to have hot flashes. You're going to constantly just be in turmoil with people online who don't mean jack shit because they don't pay any of your bills. You don't know them. And yeah, that'll be the end of that. Some people, you got to learn to just let stuff go. You got to learn to let stuff go. You can recognize when stuff is wrong, but to continue to let it fester in your heart like that, that's not healthy. These people don't care about you like that, so don't get your health all worked up in a tootsie because you're upset that Jasmin Brown signed on to do Scream 7. But whatever. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notification, and miss a video. In the description, I have links on my social media accounts. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.